Welcome back, messires and madams. I'm here once again with another episode of I Played a Thing, Dragonworld. Last time we made our way to the city of Kandesh, got into a drunken brawl where we were the only two sober people, that kinda sucked. We got robbed in the process, which also sucked, but at least we got to keep the wine. There are still plenty of places to see and people to meet in Kandesh, so for now we're just going to continue our tour of the city, and hopefully we'll stumble over a lead or two as to the whereabouts of our missing friend, the Last Dragon. We're going to start with that moneylender's tent, because wherever money changes hands, sometimes rumors will as well. You and Hawkwind are in the moneylender's tent. It is large and opulent. The walls are of striped silk, and the floor is covered with overstuffed striped pillows made of satin and cloth of gold. To the west is the bazaar. In a corner stands a brazier which produces thick clouds of incense. A bald giant holding a scimitar stands beside it. Seated on a mahogany tosseret in front of the giant is Callus, the moneylender. Wow, someone's doing all right for himself. And it's obvious who's in charge here, but the big guy looks interesting too. Hello, big guy. Well, the game is having none of that. Fair enough, we'll talk to Callus. Would you like a loan? No, not especially. Then I have nothing to say to you. Okay, Callus is all business. Very well then. Maybe if we take out a loan, it'll loosen his lips a little? I suppose we could take out a small one. Callus chuckles. Ah, yes, a loan. He gestures theatrically, and the giant steps forward, holding a jeweled cask. I will lend you 50 talmas. You will pay me back very, very soon, yes? In full, with 10 talmas extra for my trouble, or my colleague will have to cut off your heads. Very intimidating, but in practice it doesn't actually amount to much in my experience. I've dicked around for quite a long time in this game, and Callus's giant never actually came after me. If you want a clean conscience, you can certainly come back and pay off your debt, but there's nothing really stopping you from just treating it as a free 50 talmas. Either way, Callus doesn't really seem like the guy who's gonna help us out of the goodness of his heart, so back to the bazaar we go. I see to the southwest we have an artist studio, and it couldn't hurt to take in a little bit of the local cultural scene. The artist's studio is small and cluttered. You hardly have room to breathe. There are paintings everywhere. They hang haphazardly on the walls and are stacked on the floor. Most of them seem to you to be rather uninspired. There is a small glass bell teetering on a pile of paintings beside you. The exit is to the northeast. Shall we take a closer look? You find the paintings rather uninspired. Yeah, you mentioned that game. Well, I guess the only thing to do is ring that bell and see who's behind all these. You ring the glass bell and immediately hear a small crash followed by a muffled curse. A tall, thin, pale young man holding a painter's palette steps out from behind a particularly high stack of paintings and glares at you. He is Vango, the artist. Vango, huh? Vango? I see what you did there, Dragonworld. Anyway, hi, Vango. He brightens. Ah, my paintings, my life's work. Do you like them? Well, we do find them rather uninspired, but if we say no, Vango's going to burst into tears, and we won't get anything useful out of him, so we'd better butter him up a little. Yes, we do. He looks delighted. Then I shall show you my masterpiece. He holds up a painting of a dark, forbidding mountain. Thunderheads brood over its cratered summit. This, he says proudly, is Dragon Mount. Tell us more. He looks apprehensive. Everyone knows that Dragonmount is ruled by the Duke of Darkness. Who sent you? Are you trying to get me into trouble? I don't want to talk to you anymore. He hides behind a stack of paintings and refuses to come out. Well, that wasn't exactly how I saw that going, but could be pretty valuable information, really. The Duke of Darkness certainly sounds like an upstanding citizen. I have a feeling Vango's not coming back out, so let's head on back to the bazaar. Alrighty, taking a look at our options, there appears to be one place left in the bazaar we haven't visited, and that is the gaming house. Maybe if we're lucky, the gambling crowd will be nice and chatty. You and Hawkwind are in the gaming house. It is crowded with all manner of people, from farmers bent on losing their last talmas to nobility whose servants gamble for them. Before you is the Dragonstones table. North of you is the exit. The dealer says, "Do you wish to play Dragonstones, messires?" Not really what we came for. The dealer suggests you either play or move on. Alright, you're persuasive. As the man starts to set up the game, an older man with a managerial air comes over and whispers something in the first man's ear. The gambler turns to Hawkwind regretfully and shrugs his shoulders. Sorry, kids aren't allowed in here. Better take the lad home. Hawkwind pulls you away. Never mind, Amsel, we can get money elsewhere. Ooh, Amsel smash. This is another place where the second revision of the Commodore 64 version of Dragonworld dummied out a minigame. In the first revision, you actually could play Dragonstones, and it's the only one of the minigames that actually kind of justifies its existence. It doesn't cost anything to play, and you actually can earn talmas at it. You accumulate them very, very slowly, but you can gradually build up your money pile, and that's a good thing. See, one of the ways you can get yourself into a dead man walking situation in Dragonworld, where the game becomes unwinnable, is if you've exhausted all sources of money, but you haven't bought all the things that you need to complete the game. Now, even without access to Dragonstones, there are over 1,000 talmas available in the game, and if you only buy the things you absolutely need, I believe you only ever have to spend about 150. However, you can still blow through those 1,000+ talmas if you spend them on frivolous things like the cloak at Tazran's shop, or if you get yourself robbed repeatedly when the only time you actually have to get yourself robbed is in the bar because the wine is necessary. So, Dragonstones is actually a little bit of a loss, in that it did give you a way to pull yourself out of an unwinnable situation with a lot of patience. The game, however, did still completely suck, and for God knows what reason, it required 3 disc swaps every time you played it. So, from another perspective, good riddance. Anyway, that's really all we can do at the bazaar for now, so let's head back to the plaza. We've got a few more things we can check out there. Crowds of people come and go, talking of Michelangelo. Alright, I think the next place we're going to visit is the garrison, but because absolutely nothing good can happen to you from going to the garrison, we're just going there for a little bit of color and for a death, so I am going to save first. And then, on to the west. Damn it, menu. There we go. You and Hawkwind are inside the garrison, in a room with a high vaulted ceiling. A sergeant sits at a desk against the west wall. South of you is a large stone vault and a door, from which you hear faint cries. The sergeant and guards search you and lock your belongings in the vault. See, already we've got a bit of a problem. Just by stepping into the garrison, you get your shit took. Surely we can get this worked out. Sir with the stripes? The guards hold you firmly. The sergeant grins wickedly. Very funny. Let's see you entertain Jocana the thief. The guards hustle the two of you through the door and throw you into a cell. You and Hawkwind are in a tiny cell. Through a southwest window you can see an island on the horizon. On the floor is a strange pattern of bricks. From the north you hear grunting sounds. In the cell with you is a young blind woman dressed as a thief. Hi, Jocana? You must help me, she says. I am not a thief. My sister was banished from the Thieves' Guild for helping the assassins who kidnapped Monarch Tormalian's son. The guild tortured her and sent her back to the caves. I am being held here by the police to lure her back, but she has lost her mind. Have you word of her? Well, it's pretty clear who she's talking about. That was the woman that we met back in the Tania mine. It explains why she had a symbol of the Thieves' Guild that she gave to us, and why she was so freaked out when a couple of other humans appeared. She'd been tortured to the point of severe trauma, if not insanity. Well, that's a sad Christmas. Wow, I hope we at least helped a little bit, and that she can recover eventually. But, back to the business at hand. Why, yes, we do. Hawkwind elaborates. We met and comforted your sister. She is safe, do not worry. My friend and I are in great need, however. Can you help us escape from this place? Beneath us are hidden stairs, she says, twisting the inlaid bricks. They may lead you to safety. I am safer if I remain in this cell. The guild cannot touch me here. You see steps leading down. The stairs that Jocana just revealed to us are one way into the underground of Kandesh. There are various chambers and corridors down there that have some things we'll be needing. There are 4 that I can think of. I think that's all of them. I believe there are 4 entrances to the underground. This is not the one I'm going to be taking. It's not the most convenient, and we do have to still worry about getting our shit back from the vault. I have kind of a critical path for this game I'll be following to just see the most things in the most logical way, in my opinion. So we're going to skip out on the stairs for now. We're going to do a death. If we talk to Jocana again... The woman shudders. That is the sound of Vask the Slayer, referring to that grunting. He works for the assassins. Should you care to take the risk, it is easy to enter his cell. She opens the north wall with a push. Sounds like fun. The cell is small and dark. North of you is a locked door. There are no windows. Heaps of straw serve as bedding. A huge man with ape-like hands huddles in one corner, glaring at you with mad eyes. You must be Vask the Slayer. Nice to meet you. That didn't work out. Hawkwind, do you speak Vask? We must escape somehow. Vask leaps at you with a howl, seizing your throat with his ape-like hands. You struggle futilely. Hawkwind comes to your defense, but Vask backhands him across the cell. Holy shit, this is a strong motherfucker. And if I recall correctly, the secret door is closed behind us, so we cannot head south again. The doors are locked. There seems no way out. We are no match for Vask, damsel. We must escape somehow. And the game decided to repeat itself for some reason. So, once you're locked in with Vask, there is only one way out, and that is the Dragon Pearl. There's no other exit. This is the only time in the game that you absolutely must use the Dragon Pearl or die. Also, you will only ever be thrown in with Jocana on your first visit to the garrison in any given playthrough. If you are masochistic enough to return to the garrison, they will throw you straight in with Vask on every subsequent visit. Let's do a dance. Vask closes in on you and Hawkwind. His eyes seem to glow. Jump. Vask's powerful hands tighten about your throat. All goes dark. You are dead. Yeah, that was kind of the way things were going. Alright, maybe we won't go to the garrison, and after that bad alternate timeline, I think I'd like a nice stroll in the park. The park, by the by, is a little bit tricky to navigate, so please bear with me if I get slightly lost. I think the way I am going is to the general southwest, but I could not swear to that. What I am looking for here is actually the Monarch Termalian's palace, which you would think would be fairly easy to find, but again, the park is a little wacky. Many twistings and turnings and what have you. Oh yeah, I'm definitely on the right track. Oh shit, I totally didn't read the rim description. Let me fix that real quick. Sorry about that, folks. You and Hawkwind are on a winding path that stretches north and south through a beautiful park. A fainter path heads to the southeast, and another to the southwest. Star-flowered bushes and temwood trees surround you. That is definitely more like it. Much nicer than a cramped cell, especially a cramped cell with a monkeyman in it. So yes, southwest. You and Hawkwind stand at an opening in a large, well-trimmed hedge laid out in a bewildering pattern of paths. A small sign in front of you reads, "Do not enter." To the west you can see the shining domes and minarets of the palace over the top of the hedge. You are standing at the intersection of a northwest path and a broad and well-kept road leading southwest to the palace. To the south you see a wagon. To the northeast is a flowery path. Yeah, we've got a multi-directional intersection here. Going into the hedge maze, nothing good can come of that. You can get lost in there, never come back out, and there is nothing to be gained from doing it. You might think from the description that you have to go to the hedge maze to get to the palace, but that broad and well-kept road leading southwest to the palace will take you straight up to the gate. We cannot go in the front way, so I am looking now for a hidden door to the palace, and I am not entirely sure which direction I need to go in. I think maybe I go to the palace and then south from there? You and Hawkwind stand at the entrance of the Palace of Kandesh. The huge, ornately carved doors are guarded by 2 armored sentries holding pikes. A faint trail leads north, another leads northeast. Talk to guard. The sentries stand firm. "None may pass," one growls. Maybe it's north from here? You and Hawkwind are on a faint footpath running southeast and west. Another path branches off to the south, following the palace wall. Is it west, maybe? I confess I am a little bit lost at this point. You and Hawkwind are on a footpath leading east and west. To the west, the path passes under a stone archway. A well-beaten track leads south. Bingo! You and Hawkwind stand in front of an elaborate mosaic wall. A stately tree with a trunk of hematite and leaves of chrysoprase is inlaid against a background of lapis and quartz. Perched in one branch is a large bear carved of topaz. On the right side of the topaz bear is a smaller corundum bear. To the left of the topaz bear is an empty branch. Oh, you may recall on the road to Kandesh there were the ruins of a villa where we found free amber tree bears for the taking. I think our next course of action is fairly obvious. Put tree bear on branch. You insert the amber bear into the empty space. There is a click, and a secret door swings inward. You and Hawkwind are in a long north-south corridor which is lined with crystal panes. The floor is tiled with marble and onyx. Chandeliers glitter above. The corridor forks into a narrow hallway continuing south and a wide spacious hallway going southeast. I would assume that wide spacious hallway is the way to the throne room, so let's check out the little corridor first. You and Hawkwind stand at the end of a steep narrow hallway running north to south. The hall is brightly illumined by dozens of wall sconces. The southern end of the hallway ends in a huge door adorned with a brass knocker in the shape of a horned skull. The door is closed. I swear, if this one's too high to reach. There is no answer. Oh, okay, I can reach it, there's just no one on the other side. You open the door and see a small quiet room. Oh, it's not locked either. Dandy. You and Hawkwind stand in the palace treasury. It is a small and dusty room with gray walls lined with shelves of metal boxes. All of the boxes appear to be locked. A door is on the north wall. On a shelf near you is a carved piece of ivory. The room description seems to be drawing particular attention to that carved piece of ivory, which in an adventure game might as well be a big flashing neon sign reading, "Take me, take me." And who am I to argue? Hawkwind says thoughtfully, "I have heard Ephrion mention this. It may be of help to us during our quest. Let us take this ivory and return it at the earliest opportunity." Well, if Ephrion and Hawkwind says it's okay, then it must not be theft. Also, one piece of ivory, eh? What do you suppose that suggests? Alright, we probably shouldn't go poking around the treasury any further. Now, judging by the reception we got at the front gate, it's pretty clear Monarch Tormalion doesn't really want to see anyone right now, and given what we heard from Jokana about how his son was kidnapped by assassins, I can't really blame him too much, but given how we figured out the whole secret door into his palace thing, maybe he'll be a little more willing to have an audience with us. Oh, silly me, we have to go a little more north for that. Now we can do southeast. You and Hawkwind are in a huge splendid hallway. Pennants on poles line walls inlaid with patterns of blue jade. The northwest end of the corridor ends in a blank wall. To the southeast, two gigantic double doors open into a large room lit with hundreds of candles. You and Hawkwind are in a large chamber with an exit to the northwest. A tall, aged man wearing a simple tunic and a golden circlet sits behind an ebony desk. He is Tormalion, monarch of Kandesh. He raises his head from his hands as you enter. His face is haggard with worry. Yes? Good afternoon, Your Highness. Ask me what you will. So, your monarchship. You wouldn't happen to have seen a big-ass dragon around here anywhere, would you? Hawkwind steps forward. I am Hawkwind, monarch of Simbala. I am traveling incognito with Amsel of Fandora on a quest of great importance. We believe that the last dragon is being held captive in the Southland. The monarch frowns. I have heard of that which you speak. However, I have deep trouble of my own. My son, Prince Alin, has been kidnapped by thieves. Monarch Hawkwind, I have heard great tales of you and your prowess. If you and your friend could find and rescue my son, perhaps I could put my mind to your problem. Will you try? Sure. He wasn't really looking for an answer, I see. That's all right, though. That gives us a little side mission and a promise of assistance if we can complete it. That's quite a bit more than we had before. The monarch bids you farewell and summons 2 palace guards to escort you out. All right then, I think that's about as much as we're going to accomplish in the park for now. Let me scoot myself on back to the plaza. Okay, so, our immediate goal is going to be tracking down Prince Alin and returning him to his father. And from the sound of things, in order to do that, we're going to have to tangle with the assassins who took him. We don't really know anything about the assassins of Kandesh, though, which suggests we should probably do a little research. To the library! You and Hawkwind are within the foyer of the Library of Kandesh, an impressive marble building. To the northeast is the plaza, to the southwest the reading room. The double doors are closed and secured with an ironwood lock. From behind them you hear a grinding, chomping noise. All locked up, huh? Well, a locked library is technically information security, and I bet you didn't know Monarch Hawkwind was a hacker. Hawkwind lifts the tool. I hate behaving like a vandal now, he says to you. This is an emergency. The dragon has little time. I will repay the library, Amsel, if and when we can return. He swings the sword at the lock until it is broken. Good hacking. You and Hawkwind are in a reading room of the Kandesh Library. Couches and pillows are scattered about the floor, and scrolls and books are lying on them as though dropped hastily. Northeast are the double doors at the library entrance. The grinding chomping sound, which is louder now, is coming through a doorway to the west. Not sure I like the sound of that, but where else do we have to go? Hawkwind interrupts you. I sense danger, Amsel. Stay alert. You and Hawkwind are in the circular main room of the library. The walls are lined from floor to ceiling with shelves containing a vast assortment of books, scrolls, and other repositories of knowledge. At the north wall, stairs lead up to a mezzanine lined with more shelves. East is the reading room. West of you, near the center of the room, is a large hole in the floor, beside which is a Dazikar, half scorpion, half mantis, snatching books and devouring them. Interesting creature. I do so hate the destruction of knowledge, though. Hawkwind grabs you. The last dragon needs our help, Amsel. We must defeat the Dazikar with cleverness, not might. Alright, fair enough. Maybe it's squirreled away something of interest down its little hidey hole. The Dazikar scuttles into your path. The Dazikar renews its onslaught. Hawkwind attacks with his sword, but the Dazikar's armor is too tough. It seizes you and lifts you over its head. Its tail arches toward you and stings you. All goes black. Now that didn't work out. Okay, there was a mezzanine up there. Hopefully it will not be able to follow. You and Hawkwind are on the mezzanine of the library, a narrow walkway that encircles the main room. Near you is a locked window through which you see a lake and a distant island. There are books on the shelves all around you, including large heavy volumes of the Encyclopedia Fantastica. Another untitled book with a wolf's tooth embossed on its cover is on a table nearby. A lock secures it. It is the book of which Ephrion spoke. Below you, the Dazakar has resumed its diet of parchment, papyrus, and vellum. It cannot climb the stairs, but it blocks your descent. Well, we'll see about that. Oh. Alright, fine. Well, while we figure out what to do about Scyther there, we might as well check out that book that Ephrion told us about. The book is locked. Oh yeah, you did mention that, didn't you, game? Kind of a long shot, but worth a try. As to how the key to this book ended up in the possession of a long-dead skeletonized miner, your guess is as good as mine. The writing inside is old and faded. You read a few scattered lines inscribed in small cramped handwriting. Members of the guild, the lower tunnels, place of refuge. So all it really tells us is that Thieves Guild members like to hang out underground? I gotta say, Ephrion, for all that you hyped this book up, it's kind of a popcorn fart. Alright then, how about that encyclopedia? Maybe that's got something on assassins. You hold in your hands a very heavy volume of the Encyclopedia Fantastica. It is written in the language of the Far West lands, which you do not understand. Crap. I gotta say, the Kandesh library has turned out to be a total bust, and we've still got a green scorpion mantis thing hanging out at the bottom of the stairs waiting to kill us. Well, I have had just about enough of this shit. Stand back, Hawkwind. Professor Amsel's about to drop some knowledge. You drop the Encyclopedia Fantastica over the mezzanine's edge. It falls on the Dazakar's head, causing it to quickly scuttle back into its hole. That's right. And so we find ourselves in the plaza once again. Even though the library turned out to be a big pile of nothing, at least we have a way into Monarch Tormalian's good graces now, if we can accomplish it, and thus we have a potential ally in him. Here in the plaza, we also have the music shop and the alchemist shop that we have not checked out yet. There are a few additional paths in the park, and we still have the whole underground that we haven't explored yet. So there's still plenty to do in Kandesh. Next time, we'll continue our investigation of Tormalian's fair city, but for now, thank you very much for watching, and this is Zun, signing off. Today's Livin' in the City has been brought to you by Justin Carpenter, Nolden, Zangamarth, Anonymous Benefactor, John Madigan, Sanguine Games, Misha Van Doren, Frank Grizzy, Tim J., Lolo De Puzzlo, Joshua C. Ritchie, Jared C. Rice, Sonic Rose, EX Potemkin, Alicia Goranson, Mechasaurus, DG Jono, Doug Russell, August Fortnite, Patrick Bellinger, Rob Lyons, Andy Kurland, Joe Rogue, Martin Schallenmakers, Mayo the Hedgefox, Hildegard Argelmach, IGV, Jazel, Joseph Hall, Hot Mayo Sandwich, Dan Larson, Electric Keat, and other patrons surviving and keeping that dream alive. I remain very grateful to each and every one of you, and to everyone commenting, subscribing, and just plain watching. And one last thing before I go today, I'd like to send a little shout out to Mr. Anderson Plays Games, a new LPer focusing on visual novels. If that tickles your fancy, a link to his channel is in the video description. Alright then folks, when you're walking a high wire or caught in a crossfire, oh, be good to yourselves. Have a great week and I'll see you soon.